over the last 5 years, um, the difference between black and white residents that may have lost their homes as a result of the housing docket. And then just for clarification reasons, to change this, I think Ms. Keating alluded to this, it would require a change in state law.
To the chair to create what has been commonly referred to as a housing court that is what exists in Cleveland and
I haven't heard it yet.
Cuyahoga County. Yes, that is a state law change. To your more specific question, depending on the level of detail, we will have to manually research each case. So for 100 cases, it will be rather simple to identify age, race, gender, those demographic data points, sentencing outcomes, to understand what might have happened with a property after prosecution could take significantly more time. So it's a hesitant yes by the 18th.
I understand. Talk a little bit about compliance. You did talk about the attempt to have property owners comply with the request of. Now, where does that request come from? Does that come from the building inspectors, or where does the request come from to get to compliance?
So to the chair, there are multiple departments that engage in code enforcement. So the building department and the health department are the primary referral sources for this docket. For health matters, it's generally historically been lead paint hazards, and those would be in rental properties. So for a host of reasons, compliance is a relatively low barrier. That's because there's plenty of grant funding and resources for people to be able to abate the lead paint hazard at any given property. For building cases that are in the housing docket, again, I do want to reiterate, these are primarily vacant structures. So an example I can think of recently was after years of a property deteriorating over time with the rear of the property collapsing into the right-of-way, compliance looks like that property either
Looks like I got about 3 more minutes.
Our vacant building maintenance license standards.
I'm waiting for him to say it.
And with a missing back wall, that can be quite difficult, or it's demolition.
Okay.
So that is just an example.
And as Mr. Cranberning did point out, there is a big difference between home ownership and property ownership. There's a difference there. And, but although there is a difference, if we could, and I get the fact that it may be a deep dig, but with what you can, if we can have that separation between property owners and homeowners, and to see where we are and what has taken place over the last 5 years, because it is disheartening. It is extremely disheartening. I can't even imagine what that would be like to have somebody tell you, sign over your deed or go to jail. And I'm going to say this, and I mean this. If we've got city employees participating in making those statements, participating in that type of behavior, they need to go to jail. That is the type of stuff that, this is not the old rolling 20s where people just get to come in and just take over. And this is not directed at you. I'm just saying that if we've got that type of behavior happening with city employees, they need to go to jail for intimidation.
I was going to say, my understanding is that that's what the court says to the defendants.
Well, I know we don't have any jurisdiction over.
Yeah, not the city employees.
Okay, I'm just saying, if we don't have any, you're right, okay. I appreciate that. We don't have any jurisdiction over what happens in court, a judge saying this. Right. We have none of that. I'm just making it clear. If we've got, because allegedly we've got, and I say allegedly, we've got building inspectors making threats. So with that, if that's taking place, that is something that needs to be addressed, and that is something we need to make sure is done away with immediately. So I'm just saying what is being alleged. I don't have have any proof.
Okay, but,
I'm saying if that's.
and then Jan Michelle said, no, that was the courts that are saying this, not the people who work for the city. Okay, folks, I got to get out of here. The engineer got to do some stuff in here. I'm out. I will see you Monday. And don't forget the Sunday Soul Classics, 3 to 7, 100.3, Cincinnati Issues, Sunday morning, 6:30, Star 64. I'm out.